Hi everyone, it's Ann. I'm here to do a postcard for a swap on my Facebook group, and if you're interested in joining, I'll post a link down at the bottom in the description box below to my Facebook group. And I just wanted to show you, so the typical size for a postcard is 4 by 6 inches. I'm not quite sure what it is in centimeters, so you might want to check online how many centimeters. If you live in any country in Europe or Great Britain, it might be in centimeters versus inches. So it's 4 by 6, so 4 by 6 inches. And I cut mine up from a cereal box. So that's how I do my postcards. And I have a stamp that actually has a postcard like stamp on the back, and I could do that, which I probably will do off camera. But anyhow, it's going to be a postcard, and any theme that you want to make it, any way you want to make it. I'm going to get started and glue some papers on, and then I'm going to look for some things in my stash to make the card pretty, and I hope that you enjoy my process. And without further ado, I'm going to get started. And oh, I forgot to mention, I took some basically a nail file, and I went ahead and roughed up the back because I like to use this side, the not so glossy side, for the stamp because it'll stick and adhere better. And this side is where I'm going to do my art, and I'm starting out, like I said, with bits and pieces of paper, different papers. And I don't usually waste my bits scraps because this is a perfect time for that. I don't mind going over the edge of the card because I can trim it later. Switch to glitter one. I'm running out. Oh, here's some more matte medium. I thought I ran out. All right, so I'm going to let this dry, and I'll be back in a second with the miracle of the camera. All right, so it's nice and dry, and I'm going to trim off the edges here. And then I'm going to finish this up. So I'm taking a little bit of gesso and I'm going to go ahead and scrape it across. I'm pushing back the background that way. And then I like to get the excess off. Try to make it as thin as I can. Sometimes I put too much on my background and I don't like doing that. You could take a baby wipe and wipe off the excess, but I like the texture that the card leaves behind. It leaves a different type of texture versus wiping. That's why I do it this way. And then I'm going to quickly dry it off camera and I'll be right back. Next step I like to do is make some marks using different things. I've got this roller thingy and it's got a cool scroll like stuff on it. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to make sure I get enough paint on it first. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I kind of like the imperfection where it doesn't quite go all the way on, because I like having the background showing through a little. Next, I'm going to use some corrugated cardboard and I'm dipping it into some gold paint. And I'm just going to put it in some different spots. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, I would kind of like the grungy look. Use a cool gel pen that's silver metallic. I'm just going to go around these petals of this stencil. And I'm not concerned about the back because it just shows that this is a handmade postcard. I mean, if you were really concerned, then I would wipe it off as you go along, you know, before the paint dries on the back, but I'm not concerned. Okay, so there you have it. And then I'm going to go around the edges with some black to kind of create a little bit of depth around it. And then I'll head on to the next step. You could do this with an ink pad, but sometimes I use ink and sometimes I use paint to go around the edges of the card. Just depends on your personal preference. Alright, so the next step is I like to take some of my old pieces of art that I've done and I like to take a picture of them or scan them onto my computer for future use. And then I reduce the size on my computer and that way I can play with them any way I want. I can alter them. It's a great way of using your art in other pieces of art, and especially when you're mailing something out and you don't want it to be too heavy, the thinner pieces of paper work really nice. And then I just take a glue stick and I glue them on. Kind of create your own collage type work using your own piece of art. And like I said, I like to alter them, so I'll come in and add things to that, like a pair of sunglasses. I cut these out of a magazine, and then what I did was I reduced them to size. I also altered them by adding dots around the glasses. And then I take some of my own writing and I make my own words, and I will cut them out and print them on my computer, that kind of thing, to kind of just give it, give your own personal touch to things. And I'm going to come in, I think I'm going to find some flowers or something else to put on this. Alright, so I've got these smaller butterfly stickers, so I'm going to take one or two and add them. Okay, and I'll be right back to add a couple more things. Well, I forgot to turn my mic on. Anyhow, so I went ahead and did these mail art. What I like to do is I like to take letters and draw out letters on different types of scrapbooking paper, and then I outline them with black ink pen, and then I go ahead and I usually glue it onto different background type scrapbooking paper, and then I go ahead and scan those onto my computer so they turn out to look like this, and then I cut them out to use in Happy Mail or in other pieces of art. And these were supposed to be flowers and they didn't really turn out very well, so I went ahead and took some stickles and added those on there, and I added a little bit to this heart down here, and added some paint, some other marks using a stencil that I got from that I made using my Silhouette Cameo. And so there you have it. So this is like an example of something that you might want to send out in some Happy Mail. So I hope that you enjoyed this and that you'll go on over and check out Anneliese's Mixed Media Everything Facebook group, where I will post all the rest of the information for this particular swap, and I hope that you'll join in. Thanks again for watching, and if you like what you see, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz, and I shall see you next time. Bye, toodles. Have a wonderful day.